When it comes to hair loss treatment, it often has a ranking in terms of its effectiveness and potency. And this is a rating that can help you, for example, to understand how effective treatment can be, let's say, for example, in terms of growth stimulant, in terms of androgen blocker. But often the problem is that there are other variables that you also need to consider and take in consideration before you actually select the treatment itself. And in this video, I will talk about what is important to know about in terms of those factors that can help you to make the treatment more effective and also more suitable for your specific issue you're having. And for you guys who are new to the channel, my name is Alex. I'm a certified trichologist, previously hair loss sufferer. I was dealing with the hair loss myself for almost a decade before I was able to grow back my hair, and that was 13 years ago. So today's video is about how to understand the treatment, how to select the right approach so you can get best results possible. And there are 4 variables that are important to understand. And first one is your hair loss timeline. So how long you actually have been losing the hair, like how is your hair loss? And this is very important because the longer timeline you have, the stronger approach it may require to gain back those follicles that has been deactivated, right? So it would require more efforts to reactivate them. Another variable is the underlying problems, underlying conditions that actually has been causing that follicles have been falling out, right? What is the reason behind your hair loss? Is it, for example, nutritional factors? Is it, for example, androgens? Is it inflammatory problems? Is it dermatitis? Is it gut problems in combination with high DHT sensitivity? Like, you have to figure out what is actually a problem you're having that has been causing your hair to fall out. And if you have been watching my previous videos, you have seen that I have been having so many underlying problems over the years in terms of nutritional deficiencies, in terms of digestive and gut issues, in terms of my scalp environment with the fungal problems, dermatitis, inflammatory problems, androgenic alopecia. Like, there were so many obstacles in my way to get here where it is now, but I still was able to figure it all out and get my hair to grow back again. And understanding the underlying problems is very important because it will help you to select right approach in terms of treatment. And third factor is important as well, and it is about how aggressive is your hair loss, right? Is it hair loss that has been like a slow progressing, or is it aggressive, right? Is your shedding still under control, or is it still something that you need to learn how to manage, right? Is your hair growth cycle strong? Do you have a high DHT sensitivity? All those things are important to figure out before you actually start with the treatment itself. And last one, which is number 4, it is about expectations, right? So expectations and your goals in terms of your hair recovery is also important, because you have to have a right expectations in terms of treatment. So if you, for example, are going to do a natural treatment, let's say with essential oil application or a topical niacin or melatonin or lantoprot, for example, then it will possibly be something that will not be as effective, for example, as minoxidil or lantoprost, right? So you have to select a right approach in terms of your expectations, right? So if you want to have full set of hair, but you have had a balding for a decade, then it will likely require more progressive, more aggressive approach with more potent treatment compared to for someone who has had a hair loss for last 6 months or a year, right? So this is important to remember, because if you just select the wrong treatment that is not potent enough, you just end up wasting your time, wasting energy on your efforts on something that doesn't work, doesn't suit the underlying problems you're having, or doesn't suit your expectations in terms of treatment. And that can again give you less motivation to actually continue to address this problem, and you can easily give it up on it, right? So it is important that you do understand that it is very important to have right expectations to the treatment before you actually select one. And when you have broken down all those 4 variables or factors, next step is actually to start to structure the approach you are going to work on in terms of hair loss. And it is always most wise to start with the foundation. You want to start with underlying problems. You want to start with, for example, nutritional factors, your gut diet, your gut health, amount of protein you're having, possible other issues such as making sure that your body is more alkalized state, and working on your inflammatory problems, working on your scalp environment, on the DHT sensitivity, on your hair growth cycle, and only then start with growth stimulation itself, right? So you have a foundation that makes your hair stronger before you add a growth stimulant, right? So this is approach, for example, that I have always suggested in my workbook, I have suggested in my program, because this is approach that works. Like it is a diligent approach to the hair loss with the right steps, right action items, to make sure that there is as little shed as possible, that there is nothing that can shock, for example, hair growth cycle, because that's often also a problem. Is that, for example, some guys, they would look at the treatment in terms of rating of the treatment and see that, okay, minoxidil 10% or 15% has a high ranking in terms of effectiveness. And it is true that it has a high ranking of effectiveness, but the problem with it is that if the follicles are in the weak state, and one starts to have a very aggressive approach to the growth, it will just lead to more hair shedding, and it will shock the hair growth cycle, and it can also cause additional problems. So always stabilize your hair loss before you actually start with the treatment in terms of growth stimulation. Right, this is important. And I also suggest often, if one is not blocking DHTs, I actually work on reducing DHT sensitivity itself before adding, for example, DHT blocker. Like that's also important, because doing it in the right sequences, having the right roadmap is very important when you are addressing the hair loss, because it helps you to keep treatment effective for longer time, and also making sure that you don't have the setbacks that I have, for example, experienced over the years, because I did things in a wrong sequences, because I didn't have a roadmap myself, right? So now I have learned knowledge and experience over the years by addressing my own hair loss and by helping other guys to help with their hair loss. I have learned those things, and plus also having education in trichology has helped me to gain more knowledge. And by doing so, I have been able to structure right roadmap, right system to address the hair loss with right action items.
And here's the dashboard or Rapid Regrowing Method digital program, and this is a program that I have been working on for last 6 months, and now it is ready. So I want to show you exactly what to expect from this program and how it can help you in your hair growth journey, and why it is the best approach, right approach for you to start with as soon as possible. So when it comes to this program, what we do first, so we work on foundation. We find out why your hair are shedding, why you're having scalp itchiness, why you're not seeing results from treatment. Because when you understand the reasons behind those problems, you can build a treatment that actually works for you, right? So then you can select the right approaches, right topical applications, the right treatment for you to get best results possible. And you can see that we start first with a foundation, like we start with the DHT sensitivity, we start to work on the hair growth cycle itself, on nutrition, diet, gut health. We start to work on the scalp environment and improve your scalp environment to make sure that there is no problems on the scalp itself that can prevent, for example, treatment from working, such as sebum, excessive oil, buildups, dandruff, flakiness, all those things that can prevent the treatment or growth stimulation to be effective. And when you have addressed those problems, we start with growth stimulation itself. And then we keep optimizing and also maintaining to get best results possible. And additionally, I also added several bonuses for you guys here as well that will help you to optimize the treatment even more. And there is also recordings of previous sessions that I have had with the guys that will help you to understand different struggles and different ways to address the problems, and also help you to avoid the setbacks that one can experience in terms of the hair loss. And additionally, if you are someone who is doing a treatment with, for example, minoxidil and finasteride, it is completely fine, because this program will help you to optimize the treatment even more to get even better results, right? So you will avoid setbacks, you will understand how to make your hair stronger, your follicles stronger, so you can get faster results, better results, and more healthier hair growth, and also improve other underlying problems if you are having any. So let's take a look at one of the videos, and we can start with this one here first. And here you have a first video of the digital program, and I want to show you exactly what it is about. So this video is about foundation, and we start to address the problems that you are having, like understanding why you are having those issues and what could be possible reasons for it. And let's take a look at the couple of examples here. So I talk about how to understand, for example, scalp environment, how to understand and see what kind of problems you may have on the scalp, and what would be best approach. For example, if you are having this kind of flakiness problem that is causing that there is a lot of buildups on the scalp in terms of flakes, in terms of redness, for example, and I show different case studies that will help you to see with what different approaches you can do in terms of addressing those kind of problems, right? So there is different case studies of different scalp environments and different issues that is causing them, and then you can use this as indicator to see your own scalp by using microscope and selecting the right approach for it from the steps that are added here. And I also talk about the hair growth cycle itself, right? So we have a hero cycle itself, and I talk about how to make it stronger, what you need to do in terms of addressing the problems that could be preventing hero cycle to be as strong as it should be. And I also talk about miniaturization itself, so what would be a realistic timeline in terms of your hair loss, in terms of hair loss progression, how to understand it, and what to expect in terms of the hero results, right? And what approach later on you need to do to be able to maintain those new hairs that you have been able to gain back. So this is the program, and like I said, this is the best program right now that you can get hold on, because it has all the essentials, all the knowledge and experience that I have gained over the years. I have put a lot efforts into it to make it as best and efficient as possible. So if you want to know more, if you want to get hold on it, click on the link below this video. There is a link for it, and see you on the other side.